I can do some Christian stuff. I'm gonna do a full screen because I have two different users involved. Not that. Blog setting a new layout. That's not really a demo. Oh god, get out of my way. Screen sharing controls. Okay. uh, so I have a user here, which is this is my personal account email address. Please don't put the demo somehow. And uh, they have viewer and restricted, so they can't run anything they want on these two connections that are in this this piece of content. If you look at this dashboard here, it's a SQL. It's got a SQL only tab. I'm not going to bother to show you, but I promise it really is. And then this is a topic specific query here. So if I look at the share privileges here, it's not shared with anybody. It's got no access in the org. And if I go over here to that user we were looking at, and I go look at shared with me, I can't see it. It was this Omni and Omni topic only. If I go ahead and add that person to it as a viewer, they'll now see it. So now they can get to it. But if they open it up, this one they can't run because their permissions are keeping them out of SQL only tabs. If I go ahead in here and add in Access Boost, I can now hit reload, and we'll see that loaded. So that's this little icon up here just tells you Access Boost is enabled. I don't know if when we go to final production, we'll have this visible all the time, but it's nice for testing to know that that was applied. And if we go back in here, we'll see that it shows up and shared with me, right where it should be. So yeah, and then the other bits going on. You'll notice that I can't see the share button up here or switch to workbook. I can go in here and push them up to editor, and now they can go switch around to the workbook. The workbook won't be super functional because of the connection rights, but they can get there. And then I can even promote them further up to manager, and then they get sharing rights. They can actually go ahead and mess with the sharing on this thing themselves. So yeah, so all kinds of cool powers there through content permissions. The other bit is the sidebar here is pretty close to final, I think, as far as what we're going to do for launch. So my documents reflect sort of the things I created. We're going to do some refinements here on naming. Shared folder shows me folders that are available across the whole org. Shared with me, there's really dumb because I don't have anything shared with me. Shows me things that are directly shared with me, but not to the whole org. And then all is the good old all view that we're going to keep around until we get search all working up and running. This view will probably get retired as we roll out search more broadly. So yeah.
Hey, Luke.
Yep.
In the My Documents portion, are you going to be able to sort by like type of document or?
Yeah, all the controls that are available in that all content view that we know and love today will be there eventually. I think in the first run, it's going to be a pile. Basically, the fast follow is to do search and give us a lot more control over what's going on in all these views.
Yeah.
In the interest of getting this thing shipped, I think we may just ship with like a flat list and say like, if you want those controls, go over here to the all content, which will be sort of the beginning of our search infrastructure. But yeah, so the quick answer is not first day, but very quickly thereafter.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I saw their hand up in case.
It was Merrick, maybe.
Okay.
That was a mistake.
Oh.
Is there a way to just not have access boost?
Like you could turn it off. Yes, you could turn off access boost at the instance level if you want to.
No, I think what I mean is like when you share a thing, like a container, like a dashboard, I think the expectation is everything gets shared. And so like, can you just make the access boost gesture be transparent?
That's an Ariel. It's a product question. I think the concern is that it blows through all their connection rights, which we've told them is the correct way to not lock data down. So I think we wanted to be very explicit about that they were basically ignoring the connection rules when they do that. But
you can set the.
Didn't we say we would do that at the folder level, right? Because I introduced a very crude hack to basically do that at the org level right now. that can get turned and off on and off globally. And my understanding was we were going to migrate that into a folder level thing, right?
It's both, yeah. So you can do it document, folder. You can do it all the different levels.
And there is still a default, Luke, I believe, at an org level setting that you can set I think you can set access boost on by default for net new documents. So Nate, like if we have a customer who's like, I really don't care that much about the connection permission, like we're not that security conscious, we just want it to work for everybody. Our recommendation right now would be turn this on, and it's just everything is going to get it by default. It's not transparent, like you'll see that in the sharing settings, but they don't have to go configure it on a per dashboard basis. They can still, I think, Luke, though, from this, like this is a default, but they could remove it on a document. So they could say this document has to be locked down.
Yep. And we can dial all this in if we want to like change how, fundamentally the computation logic is there. How we display it is up to us if we decide to like pull it back some. But I think we were leaning pretty hard on being explicit that you are putting yourself into a case where we can't totally control for what's going to happen as far as who can see what based on your modeling permissions.
But wait, this is just access boost is really just letting people run SQL queries, right? And we're basically making the claim that like
it also
you
lets
can't
them around
control
the
what
topic
you run.
boundaries.
Sorry, I was talking. What'd you say?
Oh, sorry. It also lets them around the topic boundaries.
Okay.
Right now, without access boost, you are restricted on the types of model queries you can run. You can't run a model query without a topic, and you can't run a model query with a topic that has changes in the workbook that could escape the topic. And access boost removes all of those restrictions.
Okay. It just feels like the abstraction is leaking, and my guess is that it'll be confusing, and people will just like if they share a thing and then someone complains to them like, hey, you shared this with me, but I still can't see everything. They're just going to bonk the access boost button until the person can see everything. Anyhow, I don't have a
Yeah,
great
Nate,
solution in mind other than like it would just be a better experience if when you shared something, it was shared.
Let's chat a bit offline. We definitely went back and forth on this exact same angle, and I think we sort of ended up in the place that it's like there's kind of a different use cases issue here, and we're trying to serve both and give configurability. But yeah, happy to both walk through that and hear feedback on it, because yeah, like Luke said, like I think we're going to need all these data, how we present them and what the defaults are. It's is definitely something that we can dial in.
Sounds good.